Welcome back to IGN Live at San Diego Comic-Con 2018. Comic-Con is jam-packed with blockbuster movies, hot new TV shows, upcoming video games, and enough collectibles that it could put you into debt. But what about the comics? I'm joined right now by IGN Senior Comics Editor Joshua Yale, and here to tell us what's going on in the world of DC Comics, please welcome co-publishers Jim Lee and Dan DiDio.
I'm Jim.
And I'm Dan.
Hey guys, yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks for coming.
Hey, thank you for having us. It's awesome.
You guys have had a crazy Comic-Con, and it's not even over yet.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff I want to talk to you about. First, though, Jim, you're also CCO of DC Entertainment now. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that was about a month ago, and so I'm still getting my feet wet with all of it. It's like trying to take a drink out of a fire hose. There's so much information going on. It's incredible, though.
Yeah, so what are some of your new responsibilities?
Oh, so, I basically serve as the point person at DC that helps filmmakers and showrunners basically produce and adapt the core material into shows and films and games and animation and consumer products, all that kind of stuff.
So it sounds like it's a lot of work, but
a lot of reading, actually.
A lot of reading?
Yes,
Will
yes.
we still be drawing comics?
Probably less so on the comics front initially, just because there's that overlap of just all this new material I need to basically learn, and then obviously I've got the publishing role with Dan, so there's a lot on my plate right now.
Okay, fine.
I think you should keep it up with the art. I think you've got some promise.
Yeah. No, I think I'll always have that connection to it. It's just whether I can do a monthly or semi-monthly book. That's definitely.
How about a special or two?
Yeah, exactly.
We miss his work more than anybody.
Try a leap year special once every 4 years kind of thing, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
So one of the biggest things that has come out so far is that Grant Morrison and Liam Sharp are doing Green Lantern, doing a new spin, going away from the big cosmic plots, making it more of a story of a space cop, a police procedural in space.
And
I heard, Dan, that you were the one who convinced him to do it, so how did you do that?
Yes, I did convince him to do it. It's fun because, I know Grant really well, and we always have lunch or dinner on a regular basis. And actually, I miss him being involved in the DCU. He brings such energy and creativity to our world that when he's not part of it, I'm always trying to find ways to get him back involved. But he has so many other things going on with the shows that he's producing, and so many, he's even editor-in-chief of Heavy Metal Magazine. So, I like to touch base with him, but I realized the one character he never wrote for DC was Hal Jordan. Even when he did Justice League, the Justice League member he had was Kyle Rayner and not Hal Jordan. It's a character that he knew so well, but never got a chance to write him. So I gave him the offer during dinner one day, and I was speaking to him. I'm not doing the Scottish accents.
I heard it earlier. It was so good, y'all. But no, please continue.
So I was having dinner with him, and I said, "Would you be interested in doing this?" And he looked at me and said, "I wish I could. I'm just too busy. I can't do it." And I said, "That's fine." We're sitting there talking, and then he looks up like 5 minutes later. He goes, "I got an idea or two." I'm just kidding. It slips into He goes, "I've got an idea. It's Green Lantern." It goes, "It's Law and Order in space." Like that. I said, "I love this idea." And he goes, "Oh, I can't do it. I can't do it." And he goes back to eating, and then 10 minutes later, he goes, "I got an idea for 12 issues."
Is Grant Morrison Count Chocula? So another exciting announcement was that Kelly Sue DeConnick, who a lot of people know from Marvel, she's the one who gave the modern revamp to Captain Marvel, completely changed the character. She's taking over Aquaman at DC, just as he's having a movie debut, which is so awesome.
Yes.
So can we expect a similar sort of like modern revamp of Aquaman under her leadership?
Absolutely. Look, we had a writer's summit recently, and she gave this very spellbinding pitch about Aquaman. And the way I look at it, it's almost like a Batman Year One type revisiting of who the character is. Essentially, he washes up on the shore of this mysterious island. He has amnesia. He doesn't know who he is. He runs into these mysterious people on the island, and you find out that they are all sea gods from different cultures and timelines that have been cast out by an angry ocean. And so he's there joining them, and he has to figure out, well, who am I and why was I cast out? And so this is really, really cool origin story that's very epic and mythological.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So one of the biggest things this year that everyone's talking about is, and I'm sure it's exciting for you guys too, is the DC Universe streaming platform, and we just learned that will involve comics as well.
Yeah. It's an amazing opportunity us really to put the comics adjacent to the media that they inspired. So now we have shows like Titan, Doom Patrol, Swamp Thing, and we can show the source material, the original comics that inspired these shows. So it's a really cool opportunity for us to grow our business, showcase our characters, bring people in that are casual fans.
That's how many comics are we talking?
We're talking like thousands of comics. Thousands and thousands. So the goal is to have more material than you can possibly read in any given time.
I see. Will it just be old comics, like the backlog, or will be new comics on there too?
Right. So it'll be a mix of old and new, and then we're going to curate it so that the material that's in there ties into the material that you're showing in the films and the TV shows and the new materials that we create.
That sounds so cool. It's so smart. I feel like that's sort of stepping up the game for subscription services to now everyone else is going to have to follow suit. It's like, oh, yours doesn't have comics? Why would I subscribe?
Yeah,
I don't know. So something else so those at home, things are about to get a little more real, a little more serious. Today I actually attended a press event that you guys had on a yacht, which was pretty cool. But you announced you had Tom King, the writer of Heroes in Crisis, like talk about what that story is really going to be about. And he's creating a new place in the DC universe called Sanctuary, where heroes can go to get the help they need, like therapy if they're dealing with PTSD. You know, they're at war every day. We see what happened to real world soldiers when they come home and have PTSD, have trouble getting back integrated into society. Some want to like hurt themselves or take their lives. So like, how does that play out in the DC universe? And I thought Sanctuary was such a cool place. But then today I found out about the plot and that it's it starts because there's a massacre, there's a shooting, and a dozen superheroes lose their lives right at the beginning, which is obviously like it's taking something that's happening in the real world. Like me personally, my best friend was killed in the Pulse shooting. So the second I heard that this is what this comic's going to be about, I was actually like, I broke down. Like I didn't know what to do. I just thought that was such a bold thing for DC to tackle.
Yeah, and I mean, and it is. And you know, one thing about Tom, you know, you're going to get this level of quality and introspection and character development that I think can tell these stories correctly. It's not something that we would tackle, you know, haphazardly. As a matter of fact, we want to take the opportunity to tell the story because it's a very personal story for Tom too. Yeah. You know, he was overseas. He experienced a lot of this trauma himself. He saw other people experiencing it, and he's trying to find a way in his storytelling to express himself. So the reason why it starts in that fashion is it's a very simple idea. It's the idea of thinking that you create safe havens, places to be safe. And it's not that. And I think that's what's most distressing. This is a sanctuary was created by Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman to help all these heroes. And in fact, it wound up being the complete opposite. So it becomes their mission to find a way to see whether or not they can not only solve the mystery of why this happened, but also see that is there a way to return Sanctuary to its original mission, to continue to help people, even though it has this stain upon it. You know?
Well, thank you so much. I think it's wonderful that you guys are doing a piece to help people process this through comics.
Yeah. And thank you guys for stopping by. It sounds like you've got a lot of stuff going on. Awesome. If you want to know more on what's going on in the DC universe, go support your local comic shop. Coming up in just a few, what's going on with Game of Thrones? Stick around to find out, or pay the iron price. I mean, please keep watching. IGN at Comic-Con continues right after this.